Okay, I'm just going to spit a bit here because Sierra's out. I don't want to be too negative, but there are going to be a lot of negatives here. And it's going to sound like I'm being mean. This is because I'm listing negatives in a row, which makes it seem bad instead of already good. But I'm just very underwhelmed by this character, and I think they're a little bit boring and stale. But let's get into it. To me, I'll keep this quick. But to me, the gun feels really normal, slightly odd, but nothing too unusual, which is not always a problem. Yeah, normal guns are good, but it's not really like that standout. You know, it's not like a Wu Young weapon or anything like that. It's pretty normal. She feels very similar to Sojourn, you know, having just a sort of really quick projectile weapon and then like a right-click rail style shot. Very, very similar to Sojourn. The homing shots to me are a dumb gimmick. I don't really like lock-on homing shots. Like, I don't even like Juno's ones, even though it's pretty well balanced. I just don't like homing shots that much. I just think it's just not necessary. You can do a lot of other things, but the homing is just not needed. But it's not that strong. It's not that broken. People think it might be more broken than it is. If you literally just go behind a wall, all the shots will miss. And most people should be playing on cover, so it's going to be fine. I imagine maybe in bronze silver games, it feels disgusting because those people can't, you know, aim as well. So the homing shot matters a lot more when people are on cover. And that's why I don't like gimmicks like this, because all it does is make lower rank players have less fun because there's now a character that aims for them on, you know, on an ability, which makes it unfun for anyone and you learn less. But in, like, you know, upper middle, high ranks, the character's homing shot doesn't do anything because people use walls. So, you know, it's a bit odd. The drone having 30 health is an interesting choice. I don't know why it has such little health, considering how vital it feels to the kit. It feels like you will never get that second grapple off because you'll first grapple and then you'll shoot a bit and then it'll be broken by the time you get the second one off. But I don't know, maybe if you used it behind cover well, who knows, then it won't matter as much. But still, 30 shots feels really weird for something that the only thing it does is allow you to grapple to it. Makes kind of no sense to me. It's not like the drone does damage or, you know, stuns you or anything, so I don't know. I think, yeah, grapple, nice touch. It's still a little underwhelming, just the way the grapple feels compared to other, you know, hit scan, like marksman style characters. This full mobility is not as cool as it probably could have been. I think Sojourn Slide still feels more fun and more impactful. Widow grapple is still just kind of stronger and a more fun version of this. And Freya is Freya. So it sits in a weird ground where it could be better, but it's not that great in my humble opinion. What could work for it though, I think, is more momentum would be cooler. It feels like once you're at the end of it, you sort of just reach the end. I feel like you should be able to press spacebar or something, or right at the end, you should kind of shoot off of it and it should give you like a momentum thing. I don't know why it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel very satisfying. It feels more like you literally get pulled up to something and then you're there. You don't get like thrown, you know, kind of like how a widow grapple works. I think being able to break the tether early to kind of shoot off in a direction would be really cool. So if you pop it into a quick burst, you would stay pretty horizontal and you would go like that because you would kind of swing on it like quickly, if you know what I mean. Something like that would be really interesting. Add a lot more nuance, a lot more choice, a lot more dynamic playmaking ability without, you know, adding unnecessary strength to the character. It also would be cool if you were able to kind of perch on the drone at least briefly, you know, come up to it and hold and stay there and then shoot from there for a bit and then jump off. That would be quite cool. You know, just a lot more interesting ways to go with it. And it feels really underbaked, underbaked, you know, whatever one you want to use. It just feels like we could have seriously put a little more into this grapple and made the character way more interesting and way more fun as a result. It feels like an odd design choice as well, making the only purpose of the drone being the grapple. If the grapple behaves how it does now, I was a bit confused that the drone isn't anything. Like the drone ability isn't a thing until you grapple to it. It almost doesn't do anything, which is fine. You know, don't want over-designed slop. But with the way the grapple currently is implemented and works, it feels a bit weird that the drone does nothing. If it worked like how I've, you know, put it here with the more momentum, being able to break the tether early, perch on it, it would feel a little better. The fact that, you know, its only purpose was for that. And then you could also put that health up, but I don't know why the health is so low. It's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. Also, the ult kind of just boring. It's just AoE damage, which is, you know, it does a lot of damage, but it's just AoE damage in a line. I feel like you could have done something more interesting, you know, could have done something way more interesting. I feel there's a lot of stuff there other than just AoE damage. I don't know, the drone could have picked you up like I don't know. There could have been some cool things here, but that's it. I'll go over some positives that I've really liked. I think the character is full of personality, which is great. We love full personality characters. I think they fit into the game pretty well. They look like they belong here. The sound effects are brilliant as always. The sound design team are amazing. With all these characters, they just sound great. And they aren't like dog shit for the game. They're pretty good for the game. They're just kind of boring and safe. Like there's no negative of having the character in the game, but I just think it's I'm kind of safe, and that's fine. Sometimes that happens. The kit is also really healthy. I think the design of the character is fine. If I had to like rank it on a tier list or something, I'd probably be like a B, or maybe even just a C, because they're kind of just normal. There's nothing too unhealthy, but I do think homing shots are just not great for the game, regardless, but it's fine. And they're not unfun. Like, I don't get this wrong. They're not unfun. They're just a normal, like, shootery type of character. They're just a bit tame, and I would have liked them more interesting. But I do understand that after the huge Season 1 and the release of... Oh, it froze. I don't know what that would have looked like. But let's just go... Let's just try to fix this. They're not unfun, they're just a bit tame. But, you know, I understand that after the huge Season 1 with, you know, 5 new hero releases, it's probably best to do like a tamer, safe release. But it does kind of feel like a hero release for the sake of a hero release. It's like, oh, we need to add more new characters. And then this one's the most like normal one. So we'll do this one, and then maybe next season we'll get one more interesting, because then otherwise, you know, everyone's already kind of hooked. So this new character didn't actually have to be that good. They didn't actually have to be that interesting, because there were 5 new ones already. So this one could be tamer, but yeah. And if you are loving Sierra and you're having a great time with the character, go for it. This is just my opinion. This is what I'm just giving my design thoughts, because I like my design. And I love the game. I love the way that it's been going. I love the world it's been going. I love the direction. It's just, you know, every character can be for me, and that's fine. But still, I would really like some more interesting DPSs. I had a whole long video ages ago about utility DPS and how that's just a forgotten thing. There's just utility on DPS just doesn't exist anymore. And it really shows with how these characters have gone. Like, I find the gun characters are pretty done. Like, I think we're pretty done with like marksman style characters and his gang characters in Overwatch for at least for a little while. You don't need there's many of them, because there's only so many things you can do. So yeah, I would like some more interesting, you know, characters more similar to like May, more similar to, I guess, Tracer, more similar to that type of thing. It's much more interesting than all this. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Enjoy us today. Go enjoy the character if you enjoy the character. If this is for you, this is for you. If you're like a Sojourn fan, if you're a hit-gun player, you know, maybe the aesthetic hits with you, go for it. I don't define anything. Peace out.